Welcome, Sagittarius. This is your May 2026 tarot reading for love of all forms. So, you may be in a relationship and looking for some help, um, or a no contact type of information, whatever it may be. Love is always covered in our readings. Also, your creativity, your money. And boy, I don't know why, but I feel good about your money. Not that I don't feel good about your love, but there's something telling me that this is going to be a very abundant time for you. Um, so, creative ideas, I feel like if you've been waiting, holding on to them, this may be the time to release them to the world. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this reading. And, in these readings, we do go deep. So it does take time. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We will open the reading with Mother Mary to give you her beautiful words of wisdom. By the way, this is for Sagittarius of all placements and definitely for those intuitively guided. I always feel, or at least this is what my spirit guides put in my heart, whoever shows up is meant to. Because I feel like my spirit guides are in cahoots with your spirit guides. They're working together beautifully. All right, Mother Mary, Sagittarius. Did I say this was for me? Though, time is fluid. Father. Boy, that's the second time I've gotten that. Okay. Second time in May. Trying to think who else got this. Who did I just do? Might have been Scorpio. I'm not sure. Father. My true father is God in heaven, who shines healing light upon me, my birth father, and our relationship. Father. And then we have patience, which is very much like temperance in the tarot. I trust in divine timing. I was going to say I expect good things to happen, and they do. Interesting. But instead, I trust in divine timing. But can I tell you, I feel like your divine timing is now. I get this sense of urgency, not like, oh, you have to do it now, or um, I feel like if you're feeling called to something, or let's say certain information like crossed your screen and it pulled you in and you wanted to learn more and then more. That's your spirit guides. They're helping you really with a soul's calling. So something that the human mind may not have picked up on, but the soul's like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So let's go ahead and bring in the major arcanas. And by the way, the reason why I use different decks is because I like to create layers. I feel like each layer reveals more and takes us deeper. So, major arcanas. We have the Strength card, card of Leo. And then, interesting, we have the Death card, card of Scorpio. I'm saying interesting because those are my children right there, Leo and Scorpio. um, but So I feel like right off the bat, this is talking about something that you've overcome. Something where I feel like its time has come to an end, but you're ready to let it end. I'm noticing the infinity goggles she's wearing. Infinity, as above, so below. No beginning, no end. That's why it's an 8. That's why the fool's a 0. Anyway. So I feel like for some of you, there's something that you're ready to let go of. And, I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like it was an easy, it kind of feels like a struggle. But at the same time, when you overcome within the strength card's energy, let's say, what you're really gaining from that energy is courage. Courage. And one of the reasons is, you may look at something and say, man, if I got through that, I can get through anything. I can get through anything. And I even feel like we can reflect back on our own lives and see the things that you did get through and what it taught you, how you've grown, who you are today because of the things that you've gone through, things that you've overcome. And it doesn't have to be negative. It can be very positive too. Like I didn't realize I had all this power within me, but now you do. Or the death card, transformation. It feels like it does feel like and you're ready for this transformation. And then we get the Hierophant. Hierophant. So the Hierophant in number 5, change. Interesting because you open with an 8, a new beginning. This change, though, the Hierophant does want you to question a few things. Have I been living life according to my morals, my standards? Or do I lower my energy to meet others? Especially if there's anything that you had to overcome. Because I feel like for some of you, this can be the letting go of some friends, some acquaintances. Let's just put it this way. I feel like who's ever evolving and chooses like a lower vibrational energy, because we really do get to choose. I can choose to live in low vibration and have a good old life. But then I feel like there's probably some karma to that. The truth is, though, I feel many of our souls came here understanding that I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to evolve. It's almost like this is strange, but I feel like Spirit just put in my head that this is like an interview. Interesting. Like life is like an interview, determining what your positioning will be when you cross over. What do I mean by that? Well, I think what I mean is, when I see the death card, Scorpio, I feel like one of their things that they're learning is how to help others transform their own life. And I feel like many of them, well, depending on their life, but I do feel like many of them will be the ones who stand at the gate of inviting these new souls into heaven. So, just saying, like, I don't know where that came from, but another thing I love about the Hierophant, by the way, is the card of Taurus. Interesting because Taurus and Scorpio are opposite signs. That could be a little bit of a hint for some of you. Someone may be opposite. Someone may be coming into your life that is like no one of your past, but I have a feeling it's a good thing because I do feel like this Hierophant is about to bless you, give you a blessing. Could be over a situation, or it could be like a blessing that, you can hold, you can touch. All right, let's put those up there. And let's bring in the Psychic Tarot. By the way, everything is always pre-shuffled, but I do like to give it a shuffle with you here. And a cut. I cut them because I want to introduce each new deck into an ongoing reading. So I wanted to pick up on the story. Okay. So, looks like the Hierophant's about to give you a blessing. But I do feel like it is after a door is closed. And for some of you, that door is energetic. It's just knowing. I feel like many of you have been going through this energy of, I don't know, like wanting more in your life, wanting better in your life. And I feel like some of you are coming to a realization, if I want better, then I may need to do better. It's like the law of attraction, the intentions you put out into the universe, and then what comes back. Well, what comes back, what I love, is the Hierophant is about to bless. So let's see. Authority. It's the Emperor. Definitely looks like an authority figure here. My screen just went dark. Every time I see this Emperor, card of Aries, by the way, but doesn't mean it has to be Aries. Every time I see this, though, I feel like this Emperor is protecting you. Like, no one can get through that door. Like, good luck trying to get through the Emperor. And then, wow. Hello, hopes, dreams, and wishes. This is the Star card. Interesting, like, so far, I mean, I know these are always going to be major arcanas, but so far you have all major arcanas. So, as people go, though, in a way, those who have been with me understand how I read. Like, I don't really, I give the sign, but then I think, okay, it certainly doesn't have to be that sign. It's the energy someone's carrying. Well, here's that blessing coming through the Star card, and there's something right in the middle of that. I can't really tell what it is. Interesting how I use the same decks. I mean, I change decks up, but like my decks I've had forever. Yet I'll do a reading and I notice something that I never noticed before. There's someone in there. There's someone in there. But I don't feel like it's you. I feel like the dreams, the wishes are for you. But it's like, if this has anything to do with love, I feel like there's your person. There's your person. Spiritual strength. One of my favorite cards, but really one of, I don't know, I guess could be the hardest energies, but so worth it. This is reflecting back on your life, but reflecting back, like the death card telling you something is ready to come to an end because something new wants to open up, or is ready to open up, but it feels like it can't until you like give the green light. So this Nine of Wands energy is really great energy because it helps you reflect back to understand. Number one, I love how the image of your spiritual team, like holding up the roof so the whole damn house doesn't cave in on you. Like you've had this protection. Look at that. The emperor, the father figure. Father. Interesting. But anyways, what I was going to say, um, it feels like your guide just saying it's safe for you to reflect. But in this energy, it's about how much you have grown, the things that you've overcome. Like literally, I feel like we say in this energy, I feel like I've already said this, like if I can overcome this, then I can overcome anything. But this is really about giving yourself a pat on the shoulder, like how you have grown, who you are today because of your experiences. It's looking at it with a different perspective. Not like, woe is me. It's, wow, I am so much stronger than I thought. Okay, let's keep going. Four Swords. Here it's called rest and rejuvenation. You can see this person is literally out in nature, surrounded by trees. Trees remind me of like ancient wisdom, wisdom of our ancestors, wisdom of, boy, like, I feel like generations gone by, but not just your family. Well, if we remember, we're all soul connected. We're all really family. Another 4, 44. Oh my God. And look who is marrying the Emperor, the Empress. Look at that. Can I tell you, I do feel there's a few of you who may be connected to Scorpio. And if you are, you may want to watch their reading because they also had the Emperor and Empress side by side. But you have the Emperor and Empress mirroring each other. That is interesting. Let me slide these over a little so you can see. Wow. So right in the middle now, you have spiritual strength. That's your everything. This rest and rejuvenation, it is the Four of Swords, so it's healing of the mind, the heart. But usually you'll see like 3 swords above them and 1 sword they're lying on. I feel like that's our own truth. And it makes sense sitting right next to spiritual strength. Like that's what you're figuring out. Plus, this person's in a very open pose, like open to receiving. And, yeah, I could be asking for material things, but I feel like it's more about wisdom. Send me the wisdom I need. Send me my next steps. And then we see the Empress. Wow. The one thing well, there's a lot of things I can say about the Emperor and the Empress. But they are fantastic in collaborating together, in building a business together. What the Emperor lacks, the Empress will fill in, and vice versa. They're not exactly alike. They're really different, but they have interesting because the Hierophant asking, Are you living life according to your standards, your morals, the way like if you have certain goals in mind, are you going after them, or has the past or even the present kind of gotten in the way? When I said in the beginning of the reading, I felt like this is a time for real abundance for you. Well, that's what the Emperor and the Empress together. Wow. There's nothing they cannot do. Emperor is a lot more methodical, where the Empress is more goes by the seat of her pants. But that doesn't mean like willy nilly. Like if she receives an epiphany, an idea, she pays attention to that. Doesn't mean like she acts immediately, because think of the mother figure, like with child, let's say. The mother knows, like, for the child to have the best chances, I want to carry this child for the full 9 months. You know what I mean? And interesting, I just said nine with nine right in the middle. Um, so she can be very patient. And Mother Mary, patience. Wow. But I feel like the time for patience is over. The time for action is beginning. All right. Let's keep going. Listen, this does not have to be love. This may be the perfect person to really help you with, let's say, something within your career. It can certainly be job offers. Um, I definitely feel like recognition over like hard work and moving up, moving up. I definitely feel some of you have your own business, and it may be something that is tied to, what do I want to say? Like I feel calmness. Could be like meditation. Okay. Huh? Mental conflict. Two swords. Almost feels like it doesn't fit. Yet here it is. Okay, well, here's why. Four of Cups. Discontentment, boredom. This is within your emotional world. This doesn't mean like my whole life, everything is going wrong. It's just, and it makes sense with the Emperor and the Empress, because sometimes they can be all work and no play. But that's because they're so in tuned with what they're doing. That maybe love. Yeah, I'll have love, but down the road. I have goals. I have things I want to do, places I want to go, things I want to build. And yeah, I want love, but not just any love. Like, I want real love, or don't send me love at all. It's interesting, this person's back is to the world. Almost like, for some, you may have been like self-isolating. Maybe even trying to overcome something emotional. But there is a cup that comes in the Four of Cups. It doesn't show it here in this image, unfortunately. But oftentimes, you'll see a cup is coming like from the hand of divine. And what this card wants you to do, I say card, but it's energy, is to use your spiritual discernment. Why? It's coming right under your hopes, dreams, and wishes. But yet there's a little bit of block. So it feels like money, like there feels like there's no restrictions. Like this is a time to grow, evolve, put out new businesses, evaluate, what's the word I was going to use? I just feel you're going places. And I don't mean physically. I feel like you're going places as it relates to really your creativity. But I do want to say money also. Like you are like you're going to higher dimensions. Maybe you're connecting to higher dimensions. Hmm. Maybe we have a few very intuitive or even psychic people in the room. 4 and 4. This 4 is healing of the past. But then your spiritual team is like, remember, we're right there with you. And just his hands being open, I feel like he's receiving. He's receiving. He, she. So I'm healing what was. And even the strength card kind of is saying the same thing. So I feel like for many of you, you may have dealt with something that was not easy as it relates to love. But this feels new, like a new opportunity. And again, connected to your hopes, dreams, and wishes. So it could even be your soul's intention. Almost like calling in my soulmate. But then, will it really work? Because this Two of Swords puts doubt on an energy where it's asking you to use your spiritual discernment. So I have a feeling I'm going to have to move past the fear, move past any fear. Believe that your dreams can come true, but understand that many times they look different than what you expected, but they'll only be better. I mean, come on. The Emperor and the Empress, like mirroring each other. That's powerful energy. And I hope this cup coming in is also relating to them, but we'll see. Emotional withdrawal. That's the Eight of Cups. And it really is the perfect energy right now. Because we're opening with the fear-based mind, relating to emotions, potentially love, but having to let go of what was, maybe even what I hoped would be. But then again, I'm not telling you to close the door unless you're ready to close the door, because this has to be something that you're ready to do. And I really love this image. Eight of Cups is really looking within one's emotional life. Those cups, those are all past loves. But it doesn't even have to be like romantic love. And I feel like you're trying to figure that out. Eight of Cups is exactly what is needed. Because I feel like that will get rid of the fear-based mind. And this person is literally letting the tides wash their worries away. All right. Double Leo. Strength card again. Here is called power. I feel like right off the bat, it's showing us the growth, the healing, and what it brings you. Double eight, 88, 44. And then look at this. Seven of Cups. Choose wisely. No pressure. No pressure. Interesting because it is mirroring the Two of Swords. So I feel like what it's saying is there is a cup coming in. I mean, I know that there's a cup coming in because that's what the Four of Cups means. And it's connected directly to your heart. And this fear based mind, which let's face it, you know, many of us have that. But it's not about eliminating the fear, it's about learning to walk through it. Because you will be making a decision on whether you're going to accept a cup or not. But let me also say that it is mirroring the Hierophant. So I feel like this cup is a blessing. All right. We have the moon, called Shadow in this deck. And, with the Strength card here twice, this is interesting because this is really getting to know yourself. Like, I love this image because it's like the light side interviewing the shadow side. Shadow getting to know the light. It's about coming into perfect harmony. Not getting rid of the shadow. You can't. But you can tame it. So, anyways, this is a card of Pisces. Rejoice and celebration. But ruler of ruler of Cancer. Okay, I just want to go right into it, and I want to go deeper. I want to know more about what's happening on an emotional level. I want to know the Emperor and the Empress mirroring each other. I'm sure it has real significance in here. And it looks like it's the Empress who is ultimately making a choice. All right, I just wanted to grab a drink real quick. All right. Start at the beginning, but read it as a whole. We have the Page of Wands just flip itself around. Risk taker. Well, it's interesting because even though authority is the card of Aries, who normally is a risk taker, but I feel like for some reason the Emperor is not taking a risk. So the Emperor may be also carrying a little fear. Or I shouldn't say taking a risk. May not be making a move at this moment. Let's see why. You could be listening for the Sound of divine timing. Oh my God. Hello, Ace of Cups. And what I love is coming over your wishes. But the Four of Cups right below it, where it's telling you a cup is coming in. And then here it is. Here it is. I feel like what some of you are saying is you are not giving your heart again unless it's to the right person. And because we're seeing the Emperor and the Empress, both male and female, by the way, masculine and feminine, I feel like they both are wishing for this ace. And it's coming. I feel like it's also saying, don't, those times when you've been, let's say, in reflection mode, don't look at that as a waste of time. That might have been the most important time. And that may be exactly why this starts to open up. Because the death card, again, like what door needs to close so that this new door can open. This new door has the Ace of Cups in it. This new door is, what do I want to say? Like written in the stars. Both love, but also creativity. I have a feeling many are going to be getting signs. Listen, we're always getting signs, but these signs, I feel like they're leading you to your one, to your person. I feel like the Emperor, the reason he's got the Page of Wands in reverse, now this could have been his younger self also. Interesting, because all of a sudden that's what I'm feeling. Like this was my younger self. And this, I have a feeling it's not Aries, though for some of you it could be. And I'm saying that because I feel like this Emperor didn't make a move when he may have had the opportunity to. And I feel like one of the reasons why is because their career. They had goals in mind. They have goals in mind, like a status they want to reach. And I don't mean that like in an egotistical way. They want to be the best in their field. And there's nothing wrong with that. So it feels like what I said earlier, like the timing hadn't been right. Because my goals of what I want to do in the world, what I want to create, what I want to build are just as important. It's almost like this Emperor knows, probably in their soul, that love will come at the right time. But I do feel the sense of I don't want to fall deeply in love until I have a strong foundation myself. And I love that both for the Emperor and for the Empress. Because I know the one thing with the Empress, she's not going to accept lower vibrational energy. She's not going to accept someone who, wants to go party with their friends all day or all night. She's not going to accept that. I don't feel like the Emperor and Empress, I don't feel like either one are like desperate for love. Doesn't mean I won't welcome it. Doesn't mean that I haven't put my intentions out there. I just don't feel desperate. If it happens, it happens. But if it happens, it must be of the vibration I am in. Like, I don't want to fix anyone. Been there, done that. I don't want to teach someone how to love. Been there, done that. And I want to second guess it. If it's love, I want to know it's love. And I'm not talking about something that has to move quickly. But listen, the Empress would know. So would the Emperor. They know in their soul. It almost feels like someone who had their life planned out. And I'm not going to say like they never found love or dated. But here's the thing. I really feel like I feel like I put love off. Commitment. Like commitment to it, like for the rest of my life type of energy. But now, with both the Emperor and the Empress sitting with a strong foundation, both feel like they know what it is they want. And, you know, they really do complete each other. It's like if anybody's been saying, I want love, but I want love of a better man or a better woman, this is answering that. Okay, let's keep going. Ace of Cups, right over the star. Dreams do come true. It can happen to you. The Chariot. Card of Cancer. Chariot is, the first thing I want to say about the Chariot is the Chariot is driven by your intentions, not by the reins of the horse. Your intentions, how the Chariot were to go. And it really is unlimited potential. That's really what the Chariot wants to remind you of. Like you have unlimited potential. Now, the Chariot also needs balance. And it is the feminine and the masculine, at least in this situation. Right? Equal. Same vibration. The other 7 is where you're making a choice. But the Chariot, I feel like, is saying, for some of you, this may be just the love of your life. This, I have a feeling, is the love of your life. Wow. Temperance. So, Mother Mary's messages have been heard and answered within this reading. So you have divine timing coming over rest and rejuvenation. That makes sense. I mean, because think about it. Temperance is mixing the loving waters of 2 cups. And if one of the cups would come in early, let's say, it may not have worked. It may not have been the right timing. There's this sense of your stability first, your dreams first. And when you see temperance in a reading, really, you can let go of control because temperance tells you this is going to happen in divine timing. That means it's meant to happen, but it was meant to happen at a certain time. Now, I don't know if the time is like written in stone. I feel like it's more about when both have evolved to a certain state, when both have healed from the past. Doesn't mean you don't still have broken little pieces. I mean, I feel like that's just life. But this really is beautiful harmony. And I feel like the healing part of the past, well, because if it wasn't healed, then you go right back to that fear-based mind. And you may say no, which is free will. And divine knows they can't interrupt your free will. So instead, it's like an ingenious plan. I'm going to wait until they are healed, until they are open. And then, if there were any lessons your soul wanted to learn in this lifetime, divine's not going to interrupt that. Because that's what we're here for. But I kind of love that you can just let go of it and know that it will evolve to you. And when it does, it is the right time. By the way, I should have said Temperance is your major arcana. So many major arcanas out. It's crazy. Like you may have some big changes coming your way, but they all feel good. Three of Pentacles over the Empress is also a 3, 33. That number follows us all the time. That is a master number. And master number 33 is pure love, pure tone. So that would make sense in this type of love reading. And I'm saying love reading, but this is not just love reading. This is really, I feel like, a spiritual reading, a soul's reading. Six of Cups. And then the King of Swords. All right. So let's stop for a second. Because I feel like I'm getting another picture. And by the way, this could be for different people. This is why you really want to trust your intuition when you go into a reading. But let's talk about the Three of Pentacles. Oh, sorry, I thought my phone shut off. Three of Pentacles. Beautiful energy about your individuality, who you are in the world, what you do in the world, the importance of that. This is really allowing your creativity to shine. And as it relates to love, what I love about this is this talks about each lover loving the other for who they are, not who they pretend to be. There are no facades here. And I kind of feel like the Empress was just doing her thing. And there looks like there's a secret admirer. who must be the Emperor. And boy, again, the energy of collaborating together. Some would say, I don't know, I want the person I love to also work with me. And I don't feel like that's going to be for everyone. I feel like the potential, though, is there. It kind of reminds me of like Sam and I doing that podcast. Um, but I'd love to get him more involved because he needs something. And then we go to the Six of Cups. Six of Cups. Someone that I used to know. Six of Cups to me can also be past lives. It can also be someone from back in the day. But if that's the case, this would be someone that when you think of them, it would bring a smile to your face, not anger. If it brings anger to your face, this is not that person. Some of you, I have a feeling you don't even know who this person is yet. But there's going to be this familiar feeling because you do know each other's souls. You may just not have come together in this lifetime yet because there was a predestined time. Even if this is someone you know, I still feel like there was a predestined time. It's interesting. I use this thing where it audits your channel and it told me that my intro is way too long, that I should not tell my personal stories. Like everything I was doing, it was telling me, you're doing it wrong. I'm thinking, who the hell are you to tell me I'm doing it wrong? Like in my case, I feel like I can't do it wrong because I'm listening to my guides. But what I was going to say is this does remind me of like how Sam and I met as teenagers, then broke up. And then 40 years later, we get back together. And I would say that I am the Empress and he is the Emperor. And we're both Virgos, by the way. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. And then we do have the King of Swords, which can be Gemini, Libra. Yeah, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It is coming right under the star, which is just a card of Aquarius. But doesn't have to be that. Doesn't have to be an air sign. This would be someone who, when they speak the truth. Now, if he came in reverse, I'd say the opposite, but he didn't. This is someone who has integrity. His sword is down. Okay. Do I think it's the King of Swords for everyone? I don't. I feel like more really what it's talking about is, when communication opens up, and it will. I feel like very quickly. Let's say it's the Empress meeting they're meeting each other. I feel like as the conversation opens or continues, I feel both of them are so strong within their intuition that if this was not to work, I feel like you would know it very quickly. Both the Emperor and the Empress can walk in a room and read the energy without anyone saying a word. That is the power of growth. Well, did we have any doubt? Soulmates. Did we have any doubt? If we did, we can eliminate that now. The only other two we have on the board is mental conflict. Coming over the Eight of Cups. Some people just don't realize, like, doing that, let's just say analyzing one's life so that I can live a better life. I have to know where I've been to understand where I'm going. And even if you think about the Chariot, the seeds that you plant, well, this seed feels like it's already been planted and it's harvest time. But it is again representing the letting go of the past so that your present and future can begin. This is powerful for love. Wow. I'm just loving it. I mean, even the soulmates are connected directly to the Ace of Cups and the Chariot. Okay. Who am I to argue with that? I'm not going to argue with that. The Emperor in reverse. Interesting. Below Temperance. Whoa. Oh my gosh. And the Two of Swords. Okay, we know who the Two of Swords belongs to. The Emperor. And I feel like what Temperance is saying is, number one, we have soulmates here. No doubt. And I feel like we really have the highest version. Doesn't mean it's perfect. Doesn't mean, there's never going to be issues, that type of thing. But when these two come together, they're the type that will work through issues together. I feel like Temperance, you're a major arcana. So if there's anything you want to trust in, it's divine timing. And it feels like the Emperor might still have a little bit of a fear-based mind as it relates to love. I don't feel like it means he doesn't want love. I definitely feel like he doesn't want the wrong love. You know what I feel also? I feel like there's something that this person has overcome. And it's really important to them that whoever be in their life, whether it be love, friend, work, that they don't possess what they have overcome. It's like, let's say I had a drinking problem, but I quit. Well, hanging out with my drinking buddies won't do me any favors. So unfortunately, they may have to fade away if I really want to be successful with overcoming. Now, I am not saying this emperor has a drinking problem at all, but I'm just using it as an example. Like there's just something. And we'll look a little deeper. Because I want to see, I know it's fear. And I feel like the fear is I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back into the energy that I have fought so hard to overcome. And honestly, I don't feel I'm talking about love. I'm saying this in all areas of my life. I don't want to go back, especially if it's something that I've already learned. I have a feeling the Emperor did not have a lot of love partners. And I feel like one of the main reasons why, excuse me, one of the main reasons why is because, again, he put his focus, she put their focus more on their career and, probably went to college, that type of thing. All right, I am going to go below. I wasn't going to, but I feel like we need just a little bit more clarity here. The love that we're seeing, which really is ultimate. I don't want you to miss also your ability of creation. It's funny. I feel like that's exactly what my guides wanted to say of creation. The world. The next chapter. So that tells you something has come to completion. Something new is opening. You have a few energies to talk about that. Closing of one door, but so the new door can open. To me, the world is often, I feel like the people in this energy have had a spiritual awakening. Not everyone, but they may be on their way. A spiritual awakening is not an overnight process, and it begins with one's own truth, right? I can't lie to myself. Well, what does that do? What good would that do me? And I love the image, the energy of this person, like Zen like, very spiritual. And I feel like when you see the world, whatever opens up has the opportunity to last for the rest of this lifetime. And because it's coming with the Six of Cups, potentially beyond this lifetime. You know, I don't say this very often, but this feels like divine timing at its finest, and it's now. Or let me put it a different way to take the pressure off. It's ready to open now. But that doesn't mean, like, how do I want to say this? Well, I feel like the portal has opened up. And the timing of it, I feel like is what's still a little, well, okay, so temperance has control over it. But us here on Earth, we may still be a little like, is it going to happen? Isn't it going to happen? That type of energy. But yet, temperance is also, in a way, I feel is protecting you because the soulmates, they must be an equal vibrational energy. And it happens after I let go of the past. Okay, they both came in reverse. We have two pentacles. Oh, it just knocked all my cards off. I didn't see that. And then we have the three swords, but in reverse. Beautiful. So this is telling you, this is not something that's going to break your heart. This is so far beyond that. I don't even feel like this is about lessons. Many times love is lessons or stepping stones to your ultimate. I feel like the lessons, they feel like they've been learned. I feel like the vibration has lifted. And I do feel for both. But I feel like one is still a little stuck in their fear based mind. But I feel like temperance will take care of that. So this is where temperance would say, just step out of the way. Keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it well. And I feel like the Three of Swords, we must have some emperors here also. Because I feel like this is spirit trying to appease you. Like, you don't have to worry about your heart being broken. But you do have to come into this with an open heart. Okay? I just fix them. The Knight of Swords. Dun 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 dun. All right, well, here comes communication. And what I love is this person is on a white horse. King of Swords representing truth, integrity, honesty. And then this horse being white, same energy. Even the 33 where I was saying pure love, pure tone. Well, I feel like that's what this knight carries. So, communication. Oh my God. And then the wheel. Destiny. No doubt. The whole reading, I felt like this was predestined. And I feel like your reading is to get you ready. Excuse me. Oh, that is 5 cards. All right. So I slid them over too far. So look at that. The communication coming in from the Emperor. 3 of Swords under the under the 2 of Cups. We don't have to worry about heartbreak here. I feel like what Temperance is saying is how you're going to meet. It feels like a conversation is going to be, well, let's just put it this way. If some of you know who this person is, because this Page of Pentacles could certainly represent them back in the day. And if you do know them, and let's say there were issues back in the day, but honestly, I feel like we can call it an issue. But I feel like the truth of the matter is this person really had true goals in mind. And I feel like they knew to reach these goals, they were going to have to sacrifice certain things. And I feel like love or true commitment to love was one of them. They could have gotten married, but then I feel like very quickly, especially because they themselves have evolved, they just have a little fear left. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. And then the wheel, destined to be. The wheel mirroring the world. This is its timing for the soulmates to come together. This is it. This is its timing. And I feel like the Empress is ready. And, I feel like all the Emperor has to do is be willing to walk through that fear because it's not major. It's not like the Eight of Swords where they're self isolating and want nothing to do with love. I feel like it's the opposite. Like I have been all work and no play. But now it's turning into a lonely life, even if I have friends around me. Though I do feel like for some friends had to go. But they knew that. They knew that. This is someone who is intelligent. This is someone, when you communicate with them, especially because we know your soulmates, and just the Emperor and the Empress mirroring each other is tremendous. This is the type of reading where I feel like if we look back at our love life and we understand like the ones that we cried over until we met someone else and then we no longer cried over them, we start to understand that we were learning how to love, how we are in love, all that. And all that are important components if we want to be in the highest vibration of love. I don't know, I'm noticing this person's tattoo. And when I notice things, I feel like I have to point them out because for some of you, that's a little clue. And what else I notice is even though this is the Two of Cups, so you think there'd be two cups, like they'd each be holding a cup, but they're not. It's one cup, and they're both pouring their love into the same cup because they share that cup. Holy cow! And Sagittarius, and those intuitively guided, you know, some of you don't think I know your souls, but I do because your spirit guides let me in on it, what I need to know. But I really understand our soul's journey, and that has come through trial and error. But that's one of the blessings I feel like I've received with what I do. But anyway, so I want to bring out the romance angels. And again, even though, I mean, it's hard to tell you, like, don't forget about looking like within your creative house and how this is really talking about expansion within yourself, but then expansion, out in the world. Um, how your creativity and your mind and your willingness to do something, even if you don't know what the results are going to be, you're trusting. Like all of that, don't forget that because that's an important part of this reading. And sometimes the love seems to want to take over. And I have to like hone it back in because I don't want you to miss that part. But as love goes, can I just tell you, this is one of the most powerful love readings I've done. And also think about that we're in the year of the magician. We are all the alchemists this year. That gives us an awesome ability to manifest. So we truly want to know, like, what intentions am I putting out to that universe? Because they don't decipher, like, did they really mean to put out that low vibrational energy? No, they think, okay, that's what they want. But when you yourself have evolved, which I know you have, and then you think about the intentions you're putting out there, well, they're being answered. Okay. Trust. Trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. Oh my gosh. Wow. True love. And Scorpio did get the same. So I know some of you are connected, and I'm not going to say it again, but I feel like I have to tell you that. This is a romance of a lifetime. No doubt. This is a romance of a lifetime. Look at the angels around this love. This isn't just any old love. This is not about teaching you how to love, because I feel like you already know how. I feel like that's what your guides are saying. Not that you're perfect, but don't shoot for perfection, because we'll never find it. And I feel like what this is saying is the more you just go with the flow, put those intentions out there, but I feel like you already have, to be honest, because I feel like we are now getting the answers. This is a romance of a lifetime. This is your true love. And this love and you can do tremendous things together. If you choose, you don't have to. But if you do, and even in the Three of Pentacles, it's like they're both doing the same thing. And the Three of Pentacles is like the appreciation of your individuality. As it relates to love, it's saying, be you, be you. Especially if you feel like you're in the Empress's energy. And if you are in the Empress's energy, that means your heart is open. That means there's no walls up. That means you're trusting your intuition, because your intuition is your guiding light. So I feel like this is saying, for many of you, you feel like you're already there. It's just about Temperance releasing, so to speak, the Emperor, but in the upright. Like, it's already been written. It's already been written. It has been written in the stars. It has been written in the heavens. And I feel like when this comes together, ah, there will be celebrations erupting in the heavens. Truly. Powerful. But it's because of you. Know that. Your growth, that work you've put in, the healing you've let happen, knowing that it's important, the blessing that's coming. And then look at what this blessing consists of. And it's not just one thing. And this is why we're getting so many major arcanas. The wheel and the world mirroring each other. The Empress and the Emperor mirroring each other. And right in between, the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups, true love, unlimited potential with balance. And let's just say, I feel like this will be for the rest of your life. I'm going to let that be. Boy, I feel like I could, there's certain readings when I do them, like I want to go on and on. But then I know, like, you can only go so long, Sandy. Um, Man, I hope you feel the power of this. And matter of fact, if you do, maybe say that. I feel the power. The comment section. I know I say this all the time, but I mean it so deeply. I feel like the comment section truly can help heal, especially for those who have been there. Maybe, if you would call yourself the Empress now, like you could leave a comment saying, I know exactly what this meant. And that's what I've done. And maybe you've met your emperor. And the reason why I'm saying this, I feel like you give hope. I can say it. And I do feel like people take me, for my word. But then to have like real people backing that up, it helps those who are like wondering, is this really true? Raising my vibration, does it really offer anything? Yes, yes, yes. And I'm still talking. I love you guys. I thank you. You know, the reason I get excited in a reading is because I want this for you. Truly, I want this for you. And so do your guides because they love you so much. And so do I. I'll see you next time at our table. True love. This is a romance of a lifetime. Amen. Bye bye.